Navigating the future, shipbuilding potential, and the maritime growth. Proceed with the session. India, as maritime sector, stands as a cup of significant transformation, with shipbuilding poised to play a pivotal role in the country's economic growth. So, the session actually dwells into the immense potential of India's shipbuilding industry, exploring how the sector can contribute to the nation's maritime growth, enhance global trade, connectivity, and to explore to enable for facilitating new investments in Kerala. So, we do have only very limited moment, so I would like to go by calling out the speakers for the panel discussion. So first of all, we would like to invite the very renowned Dr. Hari Krishnan S. to the stage. He's the Executive Director at Cochin Shipyard Limited with over 30 years of experience, holds multiple degrees including a PhD in mechanical engineering, experts across various domains including design, inspection, quality control, production, and project management. And next, we would like to invite Mr. Nishan S. Mr. Nishan S. Sir, please come to the stage. He's a Deputy Inspector General serving as Coast Guard Refit and Protection Superintendent at Kochi, MTech holder in Electrical Power System with GIG's Commendation for Excellence, Overseas Contribution and Refit of ICG vessels in Kerala and Karnataka. And next, we would like to invite Mr. Anthony Prince. Anthony Prince, sir, please do come to the stage. He's the president of Smart Engineering and Design Solution and GRT Campbell Marine Consultant Limited, a renowned marine engineer and ship designer who launched successful designs like very instrumental in elevating Cochin Shipyard to international standards and received multiple prestigious awards. Welcome, sir. And next, we would like to invite Mr. Sanjit Tandasheri. Sanjit Tandasheri, sir, please do come to the stage. He is the founder and CEO of Navalat Solar and Electric Body, focused on eco-friendly marine vessels, naval architect with a degree from IIT Madras, specialized in ship design and green energy solution, known for developing India's first solar fuels Aditya, which reduced carbon emissions significantly. Next, I would like to invite the much more important person, the session's moderator, Mr. Srikant Itaki, sir, to the stage. So he is a director of project and commercial at Chagyu, shipbuilding with over 35 years of experience, mechanical engineer with expertise in all phases of shipbuilding from design to delivery. So much welcome to our renowned dignitaries to the stage. Then, in order to facilitate the keynote address, we would like to invite Mr. Herman Kungslawyer to the stage. Much welcome, sir. So he's the Executive Vice President, Strategic Sales, Elta Koreas, Norway, skilled in negotiation, sales, management, marine engineering, and international sales. Leads a company that was installed over 120,000 electric actuator in more than 1,000 projects since 1996. So I would like to invite Herman, sir, to facilitate the keynote address.
Hello, everybody. And thanks so much to be inviting to this great venue. I regret to say that our owner and CEO, Kai Bogen, he did not have the opportunity to come today. So I have to do my best, and I'm working today in Eltork as a Chief Sales Officer. So it was on short notice, but I think it went well. First, I had a plan to have a simple presentation of our company. But then I get some documents when it comes to the outlook market for the shipbuilding industry in India. So I will start to read up what I have got here first. Yeah. Future of India's shipbuilding industry, challenges and opportunities. The Indian Ocean region holds immense strategic importance due to its pivotal role in the global trade and energy security. Approximately 80% of the world's maritime oil trade passes through the Indian Oceans, facilitating about 40% of world's total trade by volume and 70% of value annually. India's central location in the EOR positions it as a crucial player in the maintaining the security and stability of these sea lanes, which are vital for the international trade and energy transport. India's shipbuilding industry holds significant potential due to its extensive coastline, strategic geographic location, and market. However, to fully realize this potential, the industry faces several challenges that need to be addressed through concerned efforts from both the public and the private sector. India has over 20 operational shipyards with significant experience in delivering vessels across various segments, including fishing vessels, barge, harbor tugs, coastal vessels, and bulk carriers. Despite this experience, Indian shipyards face several disadvantages compared to their global counterparts. This includes higher material costs and labor costs, lower productivity, and higher financing costs. So, challenge faced by the Indian shipbuilding industry, it's number one, high infrastructure costs and long gestation periods. Technological upgrading and skilled workforce depends on foreign suppliers and cost disadvantage, regulatory and financial constraints. So, strategic vision and future prospects. Despite this challenge, several strategic initiatives and policy intervention could significantly change the prospects of India's shipbuilding industry. The Maritime India Vision 2030 is one such initiative aimed at revitalizing the sector by focusing on shipbuilding, ship repair, and ship recycling. Demand activation, we have ecosystem development, fiscal support, skill and capability development, green initiatives. So embracing green technologies and sustainable practices is becoming increasingly important. Initiatives like the Green Tug Transition Program and building vessels powered by alternative fuels such as green hydrogen and ammonia can positioning India as a leader in sustainable shipbuilding. Then we have opportunities for growth. Defense shipbuilding, commercial shipbuilding and repair, global collaboration, and technological advancements. So, a lot of pages. Conclusion. The future of India's shipbuilding industry hinges on overcoming exciting existing challenge through strategic interventions and robust policy support. The industry is poised for significant growth with initiatives like the Maritime India Vision 2030 and an increased focus on green technologies. By leveraging its strategic geographic location, enhancing its technological capabilities, and fostering global collaborations, India can position itself as a leading player in the global shipbuilding arena. The journey ahead requires a concerted effort from all stakeholders to transform potential into reality and propel India shipbuilding industry to new heights. Today, Eltork and Keltron is signing an MOU agreement for a long-term relation for the Indian market with the world's best electric valve control system from Norway. Thank you. Then I can say a few words about our company. It's a Norwegian company. We was founded in 1996, based on a product idea of utilizing permanent magnet materials to develop a stepper motor for super compact actuator for remote controlling valves in ship. Today we have a wide range of actuators has been developed to fit into all type of valves and dimensions to all ship. So we are a specialist in developing and manufacturing intelligent electric actuators for the shipbuilding industry. We are also able to deliver complete advanced flow control systems for the vessels. So we are more or less the only supplier focusing on total solutions for remote valve controlling, utilizing compact, intelligent electric actuators and interface. So we have become a market leader within the mid and high-end market in Europe. And very often the ship owners standardize our solution in their future building program. And my keyword is a resale. When we have standardized our solution, green and environmental, sustainable solution to the vessels, they never go back to a conventional solution. So that word I try to say, a resale. Yeah. We are today located in 6 countries with 8 offices. We have sold approximately 150,000 actuators to approx 1,200 vessels around the world. So Eltork today have locations in Norway, Netherlands, Spain, US, China, Singapore, and South Korea. So I think that was all from me now. So thank you for the attention.
We would like to invite our session moderator, Mr. Srikant Ithagi sir, to take in this session and proceed with the moderation of the panel discussion. It's all up to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. Respected panelists on the dais, respected delegates of the dais, Madhu Nair sir, and respected audience. The subject here is navigating the future, shipbuilding potential in India's maritime growth. Now, the first catch, navigating the future. In fact, the situation or the circumstance is navigating us. We are reacting to the geopolitical situation or socio or global trade conditions. We are just reacting to it. In fact, we are not well prepared. We are getting geared up for the need, for the demand, sudden spurt in demand. This spurt in demand for the shipbuilding is coming from changes in IMO regulations or a global trade demand, increase in global trade demand, and ships are aging. So it's coming as a by default. But however, there is also an added advantage, a geopolitical situation across, and India growing as a strong economic country, a stable governance, all these leading to India becoming a strategic hub for, rather a potential hub for shipbuilding. Needless to say, shipbuilding plays a pivotal role in economic growth of India. So it's imperative that one has to get going to develop shipbuilding, to scale up the capacity. Though, in fact, in the current scenario, the shipyards, whatever we have, are fully order booked to their whatever existing capacity, but that's not the need, actually. The need is much more than what is required. So what we need to do is scale up, go for collaboration, look for other opportunities, become a trusted partners with the successful shipbuilding countries. So there are many avenues. While doing this, there are many challenges as well. So we are here to discuss all this. There are specialists sitting on the dais. We'll get into the discussion. Key discussion points majorly here is leveraging India's strategic coastal advantages, technological advancement in shipbuilding, shipbuilding as a key driver for maritime security, leveraging Kerala's shipbuilding ecosystem and global partnerships, and probably the flag bearers. We will just touch base upon the flag bearers of shipbuilding, not only in Kerala, it's in across India, now reaching in a global level, that's Cochin Shipyard. So before we get into the panel discussion, we should first understand what is the current scenario, what government is trying to do to us or to promote the shipbuilding. As you must have all realized, the budget, the government has opened all the doors for the shipbuilding. So it's now, the ball is in the court of shipbuilders. How do they turn up and prepare themselves and, give it back and make sure, encash the opportunity. So may I request Mr. Hari Krishna, the Executive Director of Cochin Shipyard, to just give an insight or an outline of what government policies are coming up, what are the immediate solutions, what Government of India is looking at. So let's hear it from Mr. Hari Krishna.
A warm good evening to all. When we discuss on the future of shipbuilding in India, it is imperative to have an idea or background knowledge of what transformations are happening in the space, what are the policy measures formulated by Government of India, what are on the anvil and the target for our growth in shipbuilding. So if you look at the economic overview of India, Government of India envision India as a self-reliant and developed country by 2047. That is 100 years of independence. So we know that the current GDP is about 4.2 trillion US dollar, and as per the projected growth, India is set to achieve a GDP of 30 trillion US dollar by year 2047. So the maritime trade and the maritime shipping has got a profound influence on the economic growth and the self-reliance and the well-being of a nation. So we have to look at shipbuilding in that sense. Moreover, our 95% of the marine transport or EXIM cargo in India is being carried by maritime transport. So this sector needs great focus. If you look at the EXIM trade in US dollar billion, in 24-25, the merchandise or the commodities amount to 252 and imports in 470. So the compounded annual growth rate of India's merchandise trade is 4% of the last 10 years. And when you compare the volume, in 24-25 up to October, it was 723 million metric tons, and it is targeted to reach, considering the economic growth, around 5,400 million tons by 2047. So this is a huge opportunity for Indian shipbuilding. For a developed country such as India, we should have a reliable supply chain and ownership in shipping as well as shipbuilding. As I said, it is critical for a developing nation like India to focus on shipbuilding and as well as ownership in shipping. So if you look at the volume of trade, our ownership is only 5%, whereas 95% of the cargo is carried in ships either leased or by paying the charges. So it is very important for, as well as an economic point of view and a strategic point of view, important for India to have a robust shipping and shipbuilding system. India has got a long coastline with 12 major and 217 non-major ports. If you look at Kerala, Kerala has got a coastline of about 590 meters and is having a rich maritime heritage. So we have got 12 major ports, and cargo handled is 818 million metric tons in the major ports, whereas non-major ports, the cargo handle is 721. If you look at the cargo handled by COPA, Cochin Port, last time it was 26 million metric tons. And they are targeting the growth by 100 million metric tons. So if you look at the ship type, number of Indian-owned ships is in coastal is 1,339, whereas the capacity in GT is 1.7 million GT only. Whereas if you compare the overseas Indian-owned ships, it is 12.2. The total amounts to 13.8 million GT only. Number of waterways, we are blessed. We are having around 111 waterways, and the cargo handle is 133. Also, if we have a benchmark on the fleet age globally, the Indian fleet is having a poor statistics, and its age, it is around about 20%, 20 years age, it is around 34%. So this also poses a threat to our shipping ecosystem. If you look at the role of shipbuilding in nation building, as I said, it's a strategically important industry considering the geopolitical situation and the additional ton miles we have to move. So it's a strategically important industry. It gives employment and investment stimulation and growth of MSMEs. And since it creates economic activity, it is contribution to the national GDP. If you look at the case of China, in the last 10 decades, improvement in the shipbuilding industry has created the growth of ancillary industries. So it's a high multiplier for downstream ancillary industries and MSMEs. Since the value is derived, 65% of the value is derived from materials, equipment and system, obviously it will improve the ancillary system in the country. So it has got a multiplier effect. It has the multiplier of investment by 1.82. So if you invest 1 rupee, the economic benefit will be around 1.82%, and highest employment multiplier of 6.48 times. So it is very important for a state like Kerala to have where sufficient skill set is available, and there is a large number of repatriate population, important to have an industry like shipbuilding. So in line with the vision of government Vikasit Bharat Sankalp, Ministry of Port, Shipping and Waterways has an ambitious target for our shipbuilding and ship ownership. Currently, our global ranking in ship ownership is about 18, whereas in shipbuilding the rank is around 22. So by 2030, in the Maritime India vision, which is a blueprint for India's maritime growth, our target is to become the 10th, globally 10th ranked country. And by 2047, the target is top 5. So we have to have a additional capacity of 100 million GT in a cumulative fashion. So India's share in global trade could reach 15% by 2047. So this growth in seaborne trade is also enable us to tap the potential available in shipbuilding. So a glance on the upcoming policy support in shipping and shipbuilding. It has basically got 4 pillars. One is the Maritime Development Fund. So its aim is to have long-term competitive financing for maritime sector, equity and debt to support the tonnage acquisition, then demand aggregation management, shipping services company, and credit guarantee and interest incentives. Government is also planning a shipbuilding financial assistance policy with a corpus fund of about nearly 20,000 crore, and deliberations are going on. So the salient features are financial assistance for base vessels and hire for special green vessels. Then supporting large vessels, there was a cap. So in the new policy, the cap will be removed. And the another salient feature is a ship breaking credit note. 40% of the scrap value can be recouped in an Indian shipyard when one purchases the ship. So this is another important point in the new policy. So there is also a plan to establish a national shipbuilding mission to coordinate all the activities. So another vertical is in the capacity and capabilities development in shipbuilding. So shipbuilding clusters are being planned, and government-aided facilities, common facilities in ship design, engineering, and common test centers. Then R&D funding in green shipping and new technologies in shipbuilding. Training programs, ship design, project management, and upskilling programs for ship building and repair. Already the Ministry of Port has established a center called SEMS in Visakhapatnam, Center for Maritime and Shipbuilding. So another policy measures are happening in the flagging, and other reforms are also on the anvil. Flagging reforms based on the enhancing the value and attractiveness of the Indian flagging, and the license cost is being relooked into. Classify ship as infrastructure assets and revision of SURFACE Act so that vessels can be made as collateral security, and tax reforms in tonnage, inverted GST, etc. So this is a strategic market opportunity and capacity creation, mega shipbuilding clusters, annual cumulative output of about 4.5 billion GT by 2047. And then tier 1 and 2 vendor parks are being visioned. Capital subsidy for greenfield and brownfield expansion. Then in the field of capability creation, design and engineering training centers, R&D in shipping and shipbuilding, then maritime assets, common use, and shipbuilding risk insurance covers. If you look at the demand, government has rolled out a policy called Green Tech Transition Program in 5 phases. So by 2036, there is a demand of about 200 green techs and 1,000 inland vessels by 2035. And demand aggregation is also happening in the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas and Fertilizer, and about 112 vessels, a demand of about 112 vessels is forecasted, and 80 vessels by 2035 is forecasted. Then in the 40 dredgers by 2030 is required in the short voyage sector, and all inland and coastal vessels from 2033 there is a requirement. Also export to Norway, Germany, Denmark, USA, Russia, and other countries are also planned, and visible opportunity and demand for building of more than 1,500 vessels of different types is there. So if you look at the strategic benefits for potential investment and collaboration, so as I said, it is an employment multiplier, and it is also an investment multiplier. It will create 6 to 8 million jobs, and US $237 million potential commercial shipbuilding market can be tapped, and well-functioning institutional framework is already on the anvil, and the potential investors can benefit to assess India's US the 237 billion potential shipbuilding markets, opportunities in smart port and technologies, large opportunities exist in green vessels, dredgers and inland and coastal shipping. Then capacity design, skilling, engineering segments being upgraded, enhanced to provide a good ecosystem conducive for shipbuilding in India. So these are the recent reforms and policy measures. I will hand over the session to the moderator.
Now we move on to the panel discussion. As the stage has been set that the shipbuilding potential, navigating future, yes, of course, there is opportunity. So while the opportunity exists, there are going to be the challenges. The challenges are everywhere. Shipbuilding is no exception. So we need to navigate and move ahead. My first, I would like to ask Mr. Anthony Prince, who is the doyen of maritime industry, well-known personality. We all know that, Mr. Anthony, there is a great opportunity for India to encash the boom in shipbuilding industry. Kerala's maritime sector represents a wealth of investment opportunity. The question to you, what all are the possible investment opportunities in maritime sector Kerala can look forward to?
Thank you, Srikanth. Very good evening to all of you. First of all, we are very honored that the chairman of Cochin Shipyard, Mr. Madhu Nair, and his able team is present in this session, who can actually clarify any of the doubts any of the delegates would have after the session. Thank you for being present here. Any talk about Kerala's maritime expansion revolves around Cochin Shipyard. We are very fortunate that we are the home of one of the best shipyards in the world. And that shipyard is expanding day by day, and they will require a lot of support. On the other hand, the government has decided to expand the capacity in shipbuilding. To start building new shipyards and increasing the capacity will take quite some time. However, the shortcut to increasing the expansion of Indian shipbuilding capacity lies in utilizing the existing shipyards and to increase their capacity and productivity. The quick way to do the increase in capacity is the shipyard to become an integrator, and the subcontractors build most part of the ships in terms of blocks which are fully outfitted, fully painted, transported to the shipyard, and they can be connected in the shipyard and finally delivered to the ship owner. It also helps the small block makers and small shipyards who act as subcontractor to deal with the ship owner, which job will be carried out by the main shipyard which is taking the order. So I think the immediate opportunity for Kerala-based investors lies in setting up small fabricating units that fabricates these blocks, outfits them, and paints them and sending it to the shipyard. This will definitely help the shipyard in increasing their productivity, their capacity, and with the basic facility that is available in the shipyard, the volume of ships can be brought out. Of course, the next step is to enter into small boat yards and shipyards. There are a number of challenges there, especially availability of suitable land and the environmental clearance for such land, Kerala being a touristic state. So these small yards can start with building small boats, because in the government plan, there is a very good emphasis on expanding the inland waterways and coastal shipping. So there is also plans for setting up shipping companies that will ultimately own 1,000 ships for the country. So I think these are low-hanging fruits for the new investor to approach. And gradually and step by step, they can expand into medium-sized shipyards. I don't know whether there are much land available in Kerala to have giant shipyards, which probably we will have to give up to states like Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, and Odisha. But having a unit here doesn't limit your market to just Kerala alone or just Cochin Shipyard alone. There are a number of shipyards in India, and a number of new shipyards will come. They will all require such support from subcontractors. So your market would probably be just not Kerala state, but it will be also the adjacent states which are into shipbuilding. I don't know whether there are any overseas visitors who intend to invest in shipbuilding in the audience. The usual concern for an overseas Indian or an overseas visitor is the image that Kerala has as not an industrial friendly country. So I am also an overseas Indian. I came to Kerala and started my business here, and 20 years have passed. I am still here. I run a ship design company. We employ nearly 150 designers. We operate from Kochi here in this city, but we provide design support to all over India. And as an overseas Indian, I can assure you, I have not faced any difficulties, the so-called unfriendly state. That is not correct. So if any one of you have that reservation, I would like to take that fear out of your mind that Kerala is indeed an industrial friendly state. And as regards to the opportunities, definitely we are blessed with the presence of Cochin Shipyard as a huge opportunity generator. So the first emphasis should be towards servicing Cochin Shipyard and their needs and growing with time and getting into independent shipbuilding. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for that detailed explanation. Indeed, if Cochin Shipyard, as such, it's a grown-up, a bigger shipyard. Further growing will create an ecosystem. So, all best wishes to the Cochin Shipyard, and we also follow the suit. I'm also a shipbuilder, so we generally look forward to Cochin Shipyard, what they're moving on, and technology collaboration. So we try follow the suit. So they generally a mentor for us. Moving on to next, I may go to DIG Nisant. Would like to talk about maritime security. So we generally, to an extent, understand the role of maritime security in shipbuilding and shipping. We also understand that incorporating maritime security is just not a regulatory requirement. It's also a critical aspect in creating or ensuring a safety and efficiency of global trade. A question to you: what all are the possible enhanced role maritime security must play to meet the growing global trade demand?
Thank you so much, sir. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. India, as you know, India is having a vast coastline and we are close to the main shipping routes. And maritime trade is increasing day by day. According to the requirement and demand, maritime security has to be beefed up. Coast Guard is also expanding in terms of number of ships. We have a plan in 2030. By 2030, we should augment our fleet strength up to 200 ships and 100 aircraft. We are having ships in pipeline as well as under construction. In Goa and Mumbai, we are constructing around 36 ships, and AON for around 46 ships are already accorded for boosting the maritime security in our exclusive economic zone. Whatever the technological advantage in the future by this AI, all these things, as well as we are planning to augment the technological capabilities of our Coast Guard ships, another 29 ships on top of this, whatever I discussed, we are planning to construct, which is with the augmented features like AI technology, which there's a material as the AI used material status assessment, which can be clubbed with a monitoring system, so that preventive maintenance and breakdown maintenance can be predicted and necessary actions can be taken. The repair side, of course, ship's construction, when the shipyard is not having an order, there is another area which is shipbuilding, ship repair. We, a Coast Guard, in a year, around 70 to 80 refits we offload. And unfortunately, in the present infrastructure facilities available in India, we are not able to complete it on time. Around 22 refits are offloaded by Western region, and out of that, 12 refits we are able to do it in Cochin. But still, with the existing infrastructure and limited slots available with the shipyards, we, Coast Guard, struggle to meet these timelines. I request industry leaders to address this issue. Cochin Shipyard has come up with a beautiful facility of ISRF, and consistent dredging in this channel can empower them to take more ships, and hope that the present scenario will get improved. In future, Government of India, they are giving impetus in the Atmanirbhar Bharat and putting a lot of marine equipment into the positive indigenization list, which is actually having an embargo for import, like radars, gyros are in the list. Now this is a opportunity for electronic firms like Keltron, where they can think about manufacturing these things through joint ventures and the technology transfers. Presently, our ships are fitted with, mostly Coast Guard ships are fitted with diesel engines. In the diesel engine field, we totally depends on Germany for our engines. Beyond 3 megawatts, we don't have a marine engine available. So firms like oil, Indian firms, they can work on the R&D, and with the partners in the West, they can go for a joint venture and start thinking about making these kind of technologies here and produce engines. Even minimum water quantity will be an issue with them, but they can try with other markets in the ASEAN, Southeast Asian countries, so that the production of these high-end technologies can be made here, so that we can go for 100% indigenization by 2035 or 2040 as per our government visions. That's all.
Thank you, DRG Nissan. Now would like to go to Mr. Sandit. The progress in maritime industry has been very rapid. What we feel is, or the need is understood, that there is a dire need of technology collaboration, and also augmentation of skilled workforce. That's one of the biggest challenge which, as a shipbuilders, we are also facing, and we are able to foresee that going ahead we will find less and less number of people. And shipbuilding industry is such an industry which you cannot, unlike an automotive industry, you can completely automate it. There is always a limitation to go robotics or go automotive. So the challenges here are technology collaboration in order to be self-sufficient. Second one would be to have the necessary skilled workforce, sufficiently available, because we are talking of, expanding, scaling up shipbuilding capacity and acquiring new yards. So how do you see that? How one can be, what are the possible ways we can look at it?
I will speak from a perspective of a boat yard. So as a MSME boat yard, And here I mean boats as something which is less than 50 meter. And small ships in whatever I say means something 50 to 100 meters, and large ships beyond. So why I use this classification is when you use the word technology, where is opportunity? I feel at least the opportunity is more in the system side, which is system development or system integration. The easier thing to do is system integration, and the difficult thing is system development, which needs a lot more R&D. So very few people will go into the area of development, and that's what I have seen. And the opportunity which Mr. Harikrishnan also highlighted, the two big opportunities which are coming up in India, which is green tug and the 1,000 inland vessel, which is greening. They are all in what I classify them as the boats category. Now, when we say why the technology need is coming, whether it is in ships or in boats, across the world there is a need for two things that is happening. One is the shift in energy use. You are shifting from a traditional diesel to an alternate, which is battery tech, solar, wind, or fuel cell, etc. And the second one is we are trying to reduce the energy need by improving the efficiency by a lot of other things, energy saving device materials and a lot of other technologies. So both things are at play here. And this is at a larger play in the boats because you can do all these things very easily. Many of these technologies can be applicable in boats, and that is where the opportunity is. So the shift is happening faster in boats in the category I mentioned. Whereas in the larger ships, it's largely on the interim fuel, LNG, maybe ammonia, things like that. But as a percentage, it's very small. Just to give a context, the number of electric boats we are building today in this year is more than what we did in the last 10 years. So that's the surge we see in the boats. So I'm sure anyone in the audience who is trying to look at this market in the boats, this is a good way, as in shift to the electric, shift to the new technologies. But the easier thing to do is you do just as an integrator, you just assemble technologies from others, you do the easy job. And that's the easy thing to do. We did that 10 years back. And then we are trying to do the development part, which is a harder play. And frankly, although I've seen here R&D development, in reality, the development support is very minimal. But I hope things change. I hope because there is this new investment and new policy support, the R&D development also is there so that more people come in to develop technology. But when somebody do the hard work of development, I hope and I wish there is some hand-holding by the larger, maybe Coast Guard, Chogle, Cochin Shipyard, etc., to handhold them to let that. So otherwise we can easily speak that, okay, there is no scale, like there was a mention of scale, right? When the large engines came, there is no scale to deploy. But even then they need that hand-holding. This is on one level on technology. The other on the manpower side, many of this, when we went through this process of technology development, we found a big advantage in Kerala because we have very good skilled people. It's far better to do R&D here than any other place in India, for sure. And even for design, that is a similar case. So in that sense, skilled manpower availability is high. But then you don't start a unit and expect to just poach from everywhere. You also develop the team within by training, internship program. There's a very good program by the government of India for the internship development. So interns, but the government pays 50% of the internship fees. You do that, do a long haul. Like Anthony sir was mentioning about 3 years timeline before you build the ship is when you start the development of the team. So be ready for that long haul instead of just saying, oh, I will start today, start poaching from everywhere. And then that is a much more better development of your team and the workforce is what I think. I think these two things I cover up. Thanks.
I think it's well covered. Deserves a round of applause. For sure, I think what Harikrishna displayed is it's a MDF, part of MDF where the funds have been. So the MDF is going to be declared. So we are ready to hear and understand what are the modalities and how the policies are going to be there. But for certainly, the whole topic itself is navigating the future and understanding the challenges. So we need to move forward. Uh, I would like to come to you, Hari. See, now it is understood that there is a strong demand for new build vessels across the globe. You know, we need to increase the tonnage. Increasing the tonnage means we need to build bigger ships or smaller ship in larger volume. So now, you know, what are the possible way, you know, if we need to scale up, okay, what are the possible way to scale up? Are, you know, any directions or any thoughts are there in this process?
As far as Cochin Shipyard is concerned, we are also scaling up our operations. So we have got a multi-pronged approach in this. We have invested heavily on developing our infrastructure. For example, we have invested nearly 3,000 crore for our new dock and international ship repair facility. We are developing the local ecosystem. For example, for improving the block fabrication output, we are utilizing the local firms and even state-owned companies like Silk Thuravur and Silk Chartala units are fabricating building blocks, shipbuilding blocks for us, and an MSME like a Leap Builders in Perimpaur is an MSME unit, is building blocks for us. So we are heavily into developing the local ecosystem and utilizing their spare capacity or additional capacity. Then we are heavily into automation and robotics to improve the productivity. We are of course into process control, process improvement also. Then we are into multi-skilling to improve productivity, and certain collaborations is also, we are in the lookout for some collaboration with major shipbuilding conglomerates. So these are our strategy for tapping the potential market.
Thank you, Hari. I'm just extending this question. Uh, while doing this, I'm sure the MSME industries are also going to be benefited. Could you please throw some light on this, how the MSME industry can parallelly get benefited and, you know, grow?
So if you look at the MSMEs, government has mandated that we should procure at least 25% of the indigenous procurement from MSMEs. Cochin Shipyard is achieving that target. However, there is another mandate that 4% should be bought from SC/ST entrepreneurs and 3% from women entrepreneurs. There is a big shortfall in that, and it is my request to the MSME fraternity that women entrepreneurs should tap this opportunity, and if the 3% target we are unable to meet, it is around 1% only. So it is a good opportunity for the women entrepreneurs in Kerala. So this is one opportunity for the ancillary industries in Kerala.
I think this announcement needs a round of applause, all women enterprises. Thank you. Anthony, sir, uh, maybe I think we are running short of time now. The question also will conclude with your summing up of words. So I'm coming to you, like the earlier question I asked you was the possible opportunities. One is, can these all opportunities be converted into a reality? Now, when we say reality, there are reality checks which need to be done. But how do you think, how much it is possible to achieve it or convert into reality? Especially as far as Kerala concerned. Let's focus it on to Kerala.
Well, whether we like it or not, the government of India has set the goals and facilitated like never before for the shipbuilding industry to grow. So it's very clear. It is a question of how many entrepreneurs will come forward to take this opportunity. That will depend on how these policies are translated into workable solutions so that a potential investor can access and understand how this is going to benefit him if he enters into a shipyard or shipbuilding ancillary unit or a small shipyard. how as an investor I'm going to benefit. So I think this policy is now to change into workable solutions. And that is where lies the success of the policy. So the better and easier the government makes these policies available to a potential investor in an understandable language and an achievable method, the faster these units will come up. It might require, for example, facilitation of the land availability, obtaining the clearances and licenses, and permission to start building. So these are some of the things that has to be done. Similarly, the financial institutions and the agencies that will disburse these funds should make it known to these potential investors how they can benefit from that one. So these are external things that has to be done for taking advantage of this new opportunity. On the investor's side, he definitely has to have a reasonable amount of expertise, or if he does not have the expertise, then of course he must hire and obtain that expertise enter into the shipbuilding. And this can be in the form of consultants, retired employees, or experts available. And as I said, the low-hanging fruit, of course, is the Cochin shipyard and Chaugli shipyard and other shipyards who will need the support of external subcontractors. Simultaneously, you can also start looking into special sectors and special designs that you have demand for the future. That's not very difficult to find out. There are a lot of people requiring a lot of ships these days. The sizes, the types, whether it is a tanker, whether it's a bulk carrier, whether it's a container feeder vessel, or whether it is a offshore support vessel or a harbor tug, whatever it is. So this can be investigated and found, and I'm sure various agencies would also assist in disseminating this information and select a particular type of vessel to build, obtain designs and start building. At the same time, market the opportunity to shipbrokers who are the primary contact for getting orders, and it'll be there. So, it's like any business, but only thing is that the circumstances have made it very comfortable for people to enter into this field of activity, that's shipbuilding. So I don't know how many in the audience who are here who have come to this meeting with an idea of entering into this. Can you raise your hand? Is there anyone? Oh, okay. That's very nice. That's very nice to know. That's very nice to know. Did the panel answer your questions or what you came for? Or is there something that we should answer? I think we should give an opportunity for them to ask a question.
We will certainly go for a question answer round now.
Yeah, okay.
I think that's a time now to start the question answer rounds. We'll come to you. Before we come to a question answer round, I'll just, on a lighter note, I would like to give current scenario of shipbuilding. The shipbuilding, there's a great opportunity we all discussed upon, we have a capacity to grow, all that. On a socio-economic, I would like to say that how a common man's life has changed. When I joined shipbuilding yard, way back about 12 years, attending some of the meeting, one of my young officers said, getting alliance for a shipbuilder, if I say I'm working in a shipyard, getting alliance becomes difficult. But the same situation has changed now. The scenario has changed. Now we are also in demand. So the youngsters there, don't be disheartened. So the shipbuilding industry is pretty good and we will do good. And coming years, it is going to be going great. Okay, on this note, let's get on to the question answer sessions. Anyone? Okay, man in the front.
Hello, everyone. Hi, I'm from Bendigo Campaign Institute. My name is Pranav. So, like you rightly said, Lud, the youth needs to be skilled because when we talk about shipbuilding, definitely it would be a human-intensive industry, and that calls for some kind of skilling, some kind of training when it comes to shipbuilding because we can't automate every single thing. So, what's the strategy? What's your sort of initiatives when it comes to skilling the youth, not just in Kerala but within the country itself? So, wanted to know like what all initiatives have been taken up for skill training, or as we say, vocational education training. That's what we do in Australia. So, how is it going in India or in Kerala? That's what I wanted to know.
I can cite an example from Kerala. Kerala government has got a organization called ASAP, Additional Skill Acquisition Program. They are having some training in even about 120 trades, including welding, rigging, all. And in fact, Cochin Shipyard is taking about 200 trainees who has completed ITI and giving training through the Additional Skill Acquisition Program.
My name is Jiwanun. I'm from Korea, trade and the promotion agency. I'm promoting the trade and investment between India and Korea. And regarding to the shipbuilding, as I know, the Indian delegation visited Korea recently, and the other way around, some Korean shipbuilders visited India. So can I ask you, is there any the ideal model of cooperation for Indian shipbuilding industry or Cochin Shipyard? Can I ask that?
So discussions are ongoing. That I can only say up to that. So discussions are ongoing. We expect fruitful results.
I think I too want to add here. See, the KOMIA, Korean Marine Equipment Association, I think as a Shipyard Association of India, we are also looking at collaborating it. One is buying Korean equipments. Of course, in terms of, the price, they are expensive. Not as expensive probably as Europe, but certainly they are expensive as compared to. But the collaboration, what is needed is setting up a manufacturing facility in India. So that's one area of collaboration what eagerly we would look at Korea.
This is Sajid Nair here. I'm representing UAE Trade. Two questions I have. One interesting aspect you had for the green vessels. I just want to understand what is the technology that you are using currently or aspiring for that green vessel concepts as we move forward, because it is an evolving concept by itself. Part one. And second question I have is with respect to, we have spoken about shipbuilding part. Of course, this question goes to Cochin Shipyard because that is the landmark industrial unit here. So, ship building as a concept, ship repair as a concept is also being evolved. What is the evolution of the dry docking as a concept which Cochin Shipyard is visualizing? Because that is a theory by itself which has got faster turnaround concept, which has got huge logistical requirements and technology to turn around the commercial vessels with a faster statistics of international standards. So what is the theory evolved by Cochin Shipyard for the dry docking concept as we progress for the maritime development of the cluster? So these are two questions, but I think the panel will have two specialist answers for green and dry docking concept. Thank you.
In fact, we also got confused. We were getting into green or suddenly went into dry dock. So there are two questions. So one is green vessels. What is the concept of green vessels?
So IMO has set a target of a net zero emission standard by 2050. As per this, we are transforming into greener vessels. So this is an opportunity for us. Cochin Shipyard is also building vessels based on battery technology, fuel cells, then methanol fuel engines and all. This is in a broad sense, this is the concept. Then regarding the second question, I didn't understand it. So you are talking about how to reduce the cycle time of construction. Is that?
Just to connect the first, just to connect the first one, the present green one is battery, right? As of now, it is battery.
No, we are into fuel cells also.
Fuels also. That is also evolved right now. Okay. Second question is, shipbuilding is a good presentation and the concept is very clear. Ship repair is also, you are quite good into ship repair. I just want to know for the dry docking of commercial vessels, say, how is Cochin Shipyard prepared for it, or is it right now happening, or is there a development program for the dry docking concept of commercial vessels?
So dry docking is a routine affair. So I didn't understand the.
No, for the commercial vessels also it is already happening.
Yes.
It's already there. Or is it for defense vessels or Coast Guard vessels? No, I mean the ratio of commercial versus defense vessel. Is it concentrated to defense side or is concentrated towards the commercial vessels?
Both.
Both is there.
I think before going to the next question, there is one important input our panelists want to give for the startups or the MSME who want to set up. So there are some improvements in the system. Just hear it from him.
Yeah, Anthony sir mentioned about the regulatory and other things, right? So currently there is for the subcontractor MSMEs or for any of the MSMEs, there is this private industrial park. There are already 100 odd just come up in Kerala. And then there is this campus industrial park where the campuses with more than 5 acres can set up an industrial park. So there is the space for doing MSME is more or less resolved by this with all the approvals and other things. But the bigger challenge for MSME is the financing and working capital, which is really the problem, which hopefully there will be some solutions soon.
I think we are able to go for the last question.
So, good afternoon to the distinguished panel. We have a very much deep knowledge, panel, very deep knowledge both from the client side, Cochin Shipyard, Chowdhury, and from persons who have actually come up into the engineering and the support ecosystem. There was a good question even the panel put up to the audience. How many of you are interested into this ecosystem? And Cochin Shipyard chairman also said that developing an ecosystem is one of the key areas the government and also is looking at to strengthen our. So we are actually a Brunei-based engineering company. We are much into offshore and onshore construction platform, structural, everything related to marine.
Sir, could you please be straight onto the question?
So we have a startup in India to get into this ecosystem of money, where we have experience in like offshore and platform and all that. How is the support system from owner companies like Cochin Shipyard in getting us into that? Because we are startup with 1.5 years experience. The experience is mainly Brunei-based in structural, marine and all that. But we want to get into the shipbuilding mainstream. We have the engineering resources for the other things. How do we develop that?
Hari, would you like to answer?
We have got a vendor registration program. It's an online system, 24/7. You can register. Based on experience, we will call you for discussions and all. That's all.
Since you are a startup, I will just add. Although in theory, Government of India says startups have exception to turnover and all, in practice that doesn't work. Okay, so don't expect that you will get any benefit of startup in turnover criteria for sure. So, but from other experience and other things, maybe they may have different opinion.
Yeah, I think you'll be the last person to take question. You've been raising hands, so we don't want to disappoint you.
I just have one question, sir. But before that, I want to thank Mr. Anthony Prince for sharing his story. Just like what you did 20 years ago, left your job in US, left US and came over here to start your own startup. I did the same thing, left my job at Google in Mountain View, came over here to start a technology startup focusing on AI in manufacturing and operations. Now, my question is for Dr. Hari Krishnan and Mr. Nishant, sir. Being a technology startup, doing something new, implementing AI in manufacturing and in operations, we need to be very close to users to understand the use case and validate our concepts and fluid, right? This thing happens way before any orders are gotten, and since this is a new product, these are not commodity products. What may be the channels to engage with you? For instance, we're doing predictive maintenance, we're doing AI for predictive maintenance with our own custom hardware, right? But we want to validate it, how close we are. So how can we engage with users? Thank you.
For your information, in fact, we have got a startup engagement funding system called USHAS. We have got a corpus fund of about 50 crores set aside for that. It's primarily focused on AI and other IoT and other related manufacturing options in the maritime sector. So that is there. Then the concerned person is also available here who is hand-holding the system. You can have a discussion here. Hello. Here. So you can have a discussion or engagement with him after the. It will be appropriate to that.
I think your question was how you can validate the findings so on the predictive maintenance that you are developing. So for that you need to get in touch with an operator of ships on a commercial side, or whether if Coast Guard permits for you to look into their fleet operations and validating your thing. In either case, you have to be in touch, not with a shipyard or anybody, but actually with a ship operator in the commercial field, or with the Navy and the Coast Guard. You can have dialogue whether they will permit to share some of their data for that you can do the validation.
Sir, I have a question.
No, I know. That's what I said.
One more question, sir.
I think we need to end this session. So I'm sorry, gentlemen.
Okay.
So now, navigating the future. So we will continue to navigate, face challenges, build more ships, become a strongest nation for shipbuilding. So it is very clear that it is now or never. So India has to wake up. We are waking up. Government has given all the necessary support. We as a shipbuilders have to come together and put our thoughts and scale up our capacity. Thank you very much for all this interactive session. Thank you, Anthony sir, and the entire team. Over to you, CII.
So, we would like to give a token of appreciation for our honorable dignitaries. For that, I would like to invite our honorable moderator, Mr. Srikant Itagi sir, to give the token of appreciation to the rest of the dignitaries. So, first of all, I would like to invite Mr. Herman Klingsoil sir to receive the momentum from Srikant sir. Thank you so much. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Hari Krishnan S. sir to receive the momentum from Srikant sir. Thank you so much. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Nishant S. sir to receive the momentum. Thank you so much. And next, I would like to invite Mr. Anthony Prince, sir, to receive the momentum. I would like to invite Mr. Sandeep Tandashiri, sir, to receive the token of appreciation from our very beloved moderator, Srikant, sir. Yes, and now I would very respectfully invite Dr. Hari Krishnan S. Sir to give our token of appreciation to the moderator who conducted this session in a very well manner. Thank you so much, sir.